Come on.
Ralph, Steve. Hi, Mary. Lots of Marys.
What we'll
I
see.
need everybody to sit down, please. We're just about to start.
Just go straight to that.
We're a minute late, but that's okay. Because we're 1 minute
Is
short.
the camera okay? Yeah, that's great. Okay, so then mic's on.
Okay. Ready? So everybody, I need you to be quiet. You've got your recording on, and everybody in the world is going to hear you, like Peter Turner and Joe Goralka. Everybody in the world can hear your conversation, and I mean in the world. Okay, here we go. I call this meeting of the Rotary Club of Oakland to order. I'm Dudley Thompson, and I have the honor to serve as the president of the Rotary Club of Oakland. Founded in 1908, we are the third established Rotary Club of some 36,000 clubs in 200 countries around the world. We're a diverse community of some 300 local and business, professional, and community leaders who unite to improve our community and communities around the world through a common commitment of service of ourselves. For over 113 years, we've welcomed Rotarians and our guests to our club meetings. And I welcome you to this, our 5,361st meeting. For those of you attending online, if you're visiting Rotarian or a guest of a Rotarian, please enter your name in the chat box, which is located in the center of the bottom of the screen. It mirrored. So it's still in the center of the bottom of the screen. You can read backwards. For those of you here in California Ballroom, I ask that you do not use your electronic devices or watch the meeting on Zoom. The reason is connecting the ballroom Wi-Fi. There's a lot of demand and we lose our access. We're still living in uncertain times during the pandemic. Under current Alameda guidelines and our protocols, it is required that you wear a mask if you're not eating or drinking. We're trying to make this space as safe as possible. So for our members and our guests,
maybe,
and we can still have great
we can't.
I also ask that you refrain from talking during the meeting as the sound becomes background noise to our online broadcast. Sarah Chavez-Yoell, are you with us?
I'm online.
Are you online?
Yes, I'm online. Can you hear me?
For the day?
Yep. Can you hear me? Okay. Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Our thought from the day today comes from Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
I'm checking, Sarah, just one moment. I don't think you're muted, but we're not hearing you both. So just give us a moment.
Okay.
We occasionally run into a glitch. Can we take a moment?
Can you hear me now?
Now you can chat for 30 seconds. Okay, we'll try talking.
Can you hear me now?
We do test this before the meeting, and it's like we can hear Sandeepa, everyone else. So.
Hello? Yes? Are we good? No? Can you hear me?
We can hear you on the Zoom.
Yeah, but can they hear me?
We're getting a standing ovation here involved. Okay, Sarah, give us the thought.
Or can you hear me now?
Great.
Go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so today's thought of the day comes from Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, and it is, success is its own reward, but failure is a great teacher too, and not to be feared. Thought of the day.
Thank you so much. Okay, can you put up our mission statements? There we go. So can you recite our mission statement, our Rotary International Vision Statement with me? Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change in our communities, and in ourselves. I'm going to start next with past district governor Jellen. Are you online? Do you have any gifts?
I certainly am, President Dudley. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. And are you broadcasting from Hollywood or Burbank?
I'm on Oakland Rotary 3 TV today, broadcasting live from our studio here in Oakland.
Great.
And
is that the back room here?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyway, President Dudley, my list of visiting Rotarians and guests who checked in is right here. You can all read it for yourself. Unfortunately, no one's checked in, so perhaps we'll do better next week.
Great. We had a couple extra minutes on the agenda today. You can tell we're trying to draw this out. Okay, thank you. Guests and visiting Rotarians in the room, please start. Fred, can you get a mic to group?
Hello, Rotarians and President Dudley. I'd like to introduce my guest, Sherry Potter. She's a keeper here in Oakland and a member of my BNI chapter.
Thank you.
Friends, it's a pleasure to introduce Kevin Hunter, Vice President of Downtown Supply. And unless I'm mistaken, he'll be inducted. We'll obtain his red badge next week.
Great.
Eric Murphy, immigration attorney. If I'm not mistaken, you applied also.
We're going to get through it next week too.
Thank you.
Great. Good.
She is passionate about environmental justice and is inclined to fight the issue.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Jellen. Anybody else in the room? Any guests? Okay, great.
We have a special guest online, President Dudley.
Okay, Sandeepa.
Yes, we have Concha Delgado.
Who? Would you say that again?
It is Concha Delgado.
Is she allowed to be online?
She's here online.
Talking about my wife, Concha Delgado Gaitan. Thank you for joining us, Concha. Okay. So visitors in the room. Thank you. Today, actually this Sunday, is World Polio Day. Sunday, October 24th. When I was a kid, we would go down, and I'm from Iowa, some of you know. We would drive down to visit my grandparents. It's about an hour and a half drive. And there was a town that we used to always stop at for an ice cream cone, small town. Then one year we did not stop. We quit stopping there because that town was having an epidemic of cases of polio. Parents feared their children would get polio until a vaccine was developed. Polio is an ancient disease, but in 1952, there was the height of the epidemic in the United States. It's a paralyzing and potentially fatal disease that still threatens children in some parts of the world. It invades the nervous system and can cause paralysis within hours. It can strike people of any age, but mainly affects children under 5 years old. Most of us do not remember that polio epidemic in the mid-20th century, but many of us may have a friend, an uncle, parent, aunt who has very limited use of an arm or their leg. One of my best friends got polio when we were growing up, and he had a brace on his leg for a long time. I will say one time, I was chasing him. He had to, long story, not getting into it, I was chasing him to jump in the back of a pickup.
He beat me, and he was limping the whole way. Phil was an amazing guy, turned out to be a CPA accountant. Phil, anyway, great kid. By the time we were 10 or 15, he was playing football, but he was always limited. In 1979, Rotary's first polio project was in conjunction with the government of Philippines. The goal was to immunize 6 million children and eradicate polio in the Philippines. That effort was successful. In 1988, we joined the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, a global partnership which includes the World Health Organization. That year, there were 350,000 cases of polio in 125 countries. In just over 30 years, we've reduced polio cases by 99.9%, and just two countries report cases of wild polio. In fact, this year, there have been only 2 cases reported and none since January. 19 million people who would otherwise be paralyzed by polio are walking. 1.5 million would otherwise have died, and they are alive today. It is estimated that more than $27 billion in healthcare costs have been saved since 1988. And it's expected that another $14 billion will be saved by 2050. So has polio been eradicated? Well, we are what? This close, right? But the effort is not over. If eradication efforts stopped today, within 10 years, polio would paralyze as many as 200,000 children a year. We still need to immunize more than 400 million children a year. Through our immunization efforts, we've also helped build an infrastructure that is being used to treat and prevent other diseases, including COVID-19, and create lasting impact in other areas of public health. While I encourage you to give to Polio Plus, you are also doing it through your gifts to the Rotary Foundation. And you'll be hearing more over the next month about the Rotary Foundation in addition to Paul Harris Fellows today. Last year, Seth Butner, our president, used 2,000 of our district designated funds as a global grant to touch through our Carl Stuckey World Community Service Committee. That $2,000 amounted to a $12,000 gift to Polio Plus. This year, I asked the committee to contribute 6,000 DDF, which will turn into a $27,000 gift to Polio Plus. That's on behalf of you and our club. So thank you for your efforts, for being aware of polio. We're still in this. Hopefully it will be eradicated within our lifetimes. And I'm going to now turn this over to the Paul Harris Fellows, who have made major contributions to the Rotary Foundation and this effort for polio. Thank you. Ruth?
Hello, fellow Rotarians. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Paul Harris Fellow program with Rotary, supporting the Rotary Foundation. Today, we are honoring Paul Harris awardees. The Paul Harris Award is named for Rotary's founder, Paul Harris. These awards are a recognition of Rotarians who commit to peace and a better life for people around the world. A Paul Harris Fellow is presented to members making an accumulated contribution of $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation, and each additional $1,000 therefore is recognized. Let's take a moment to recognize the dedication of these members for service above self. And Dudley's going to present the awards, but Leanne did ask me to just take 1 minute to tell you a little bit about why I give to Paul Harris Fellows. And for me, I'm a localist as a Rotary person, and I joined Rotary to give back to Oakland. And Peter Sherris one day explained to me the benefit of giving to the Rotary Foundation as well, and to spread good words around the world. Joe Garalco has told me if any one of us suffers, we all suffer. And so I changed my mind and started to consider both the Rotary Foundation as well as the Oakland Rotary Endowment for my financial support. And it's a great pleasure to learn all the work that's been done around the world. So Dudley.
Thank you. Yeah, we have some great Paul Harris Fellows. So we're going to start off. There are 3 people receiving their Paul Harris Fellow today. This is the first level of the Paul Harris Fellowships. That would be an accumulated gift of $1,000 over time. So today we are honoring Cedric Titus, Bruce Nye, and Ahmad Anderson. I'm going to say, usually when you get your first Paul Harris Fellow, we give a little bit more than a clap. So could we give an ovation? Thank you, Ahmad, said, and Bruce. So the next person is Mary Rudster. She's a Paul Harris +2. That would be her $1,000 for Paul Harris plus an additional $2,000. Mary? Steve Blair is a Paul Harris +3. Robert Rayburn has generously given a Paul Harris +6. Thank you. And I believe Sid and is it Robert? Would you share a little bit with us about how you do this? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming out here today in this beautiful break in the weather. Why I support the Rotary Foundation. It's a way for me to link arms with Rotary members worldwide to do good globally. Over half of the $95 million in global grants that went out last year meant to fight disease. We all know about the progress of Rotary's emblematic campaign to eradicate polio through vaccination. I used to have nightmares of having an iron lung in my bedroom. We, of course, are that close to eradicating polio. But as well, the largest global grant category, or the next largest, addresses clean water, sanitation, and hygiene. The TRF disaster response grants also motivate me. Do you know that the most requested item in Puerto Rico following Hurricane Maria in 2017? Do you know what the most requested item was? Anyone? Mattresses, to replace those soggy, moldy mattresses. The Rotary was there. And finally, TRF is a 4-star charity, the highest level, because 91% of the funds are spent on program rewards and operations. I urge everyone to support this wonderful giving mechanism. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Cedric Titus. I was asked to talk about why do I give. You know, every time I give to the foundation or any charity, I remember all the people who helped me. And I wanted to thank them today in front of you. I want to thank Ruth Thomas, my high school teacher who single-handedly got me into college. And I want to thank John Rossius from my college days who helped me to love French and to learn how to be a better person. These people help me, so every time I give $1 to anybody, I'm paying homage to the people who helped me along the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Sid and Robert and Ruth. Thank you, everybody, for your generous donation. Robert Kidd, would you please come up and introduce our speaker for the day, Margaret Gordon.
President Dudley, welcome today to this Rotary Club, Miss Margaret Gordon. She is the co-founder and co-director of the West Oakland Environmental Indicators Project. Her work for that, creating that entity, was inspired by several very simple observations. Watching particulate from diesel fuel collecting on the windowsill like dust, high rates of asthma amongst children in West Oakland, high rates of cancer amongst adults in West Oakland. And critically, she started asking questions about the connection between these observations and the polluting industries in and around West Oakland. Without the benefit of academic degrees or government position, Miss Margaret started gathering facts, organizing neighbors, and advocating for change. She has become, and she is, the most prominent homegrown environmental activist working in the Bay Area today. Please join me in welcoming Miss Margaret Gordon.
Only for the short people. I'll use it. Good morning, everyone. Yes, my name is Miss Margaret Gordon. I am a product of West Oakland. My grandparents lived there after the war. I know about West Oakland as early as 7 years old, but I'm raised out of San Francisco. Let me step back one. I have never lived any place else but the Bay Area. Born in Richmond, North Richmond at that. Lived in Baby Hollis Point. Graduated from Lincoln High School after my parents bought a home in that area of where 280 freeway is right now and the Daly City BART station. Yes, I did go to college for dietary disorders. That's what I went to school for, nutrition and dietary. That was and I didn't go to college until I was in my 20s with 2 kids. I took 2 kids, 2 of my older children went to college with me. That's how determined I was to get an education. But today I want to also acknowledge Steve Lowe, who has been my longtime advocate for over 20 years of doing work in West Oakland. And also Robert Waybar, who's also been an ally and a supporter of West Oakland on different issues that have impacted West Oakland. So first of all, I want people also to clearly understand the biggest part of my story that changed my life was to understand how to use research and data. Yes, research and data, and how to apply the research data to a community that is impacted and vulnerable because of air, water, and soil issues. That was the burning light, that was my guiding light, that's been my pathway of learning how to use the research and data. And I also wanted to tell you this is my story, this is my experience, and this is how I became what is also known as this expert. Based on the fact that I took time out of my life and from my family life to understand how to use research and data, later on understanding about policy, get involved with policy, took 5 years out of my life to sit on the commissioner board for the Port of Oakland, have been all over the world as a commissioner. I also have been to the White House, to the outhouse, and doing this work, all right? So I just want you to explain, I have multiple experiences to be able to stand on this stool to tell y'all my story. All right, next slide. If everybody, if you see this big red dot, that's what West Oakland is. We are a community that's surrounded by 3 freeways, 980, 880, and 580. We have the Port of Oakland as a mobile source stationary facility to the left of us. We have the Bay Bridge congestion also that flows over into West Oakland. And we have multiple truck-related businesses all in one community. We also have a post office distribution center in one community. We also have the BART train that runs 24 hours within one community. Next slide. If you notice, our mission is all about how do we give resources, education, orientation to West Oakland residents and to all those who want to know how to use the resources, and including political education, environmental justice education, and also the understanding of how to use the power of research and data. Next slide. We know that between the Carpenter Tunnel and West Oakland, we have more children end up in emergency hospitals for respiratory problems compared to on one side of a tunnel to the other side of an impacted community. Next slide. This is where I live at. I've been here since 1992, and I have trucks run past my house 24/7. Before I understand the impacts of living in this area, I used to open my windows on the 7th Street side where this truck is. I no longer as I found out through my engagement, my involvement, my participation, that my windows and my neighbors' windows should not be open for fresh air on that side of 7th Street. Because what happened was that the pollutants, the toxics from both the freeway, both because of the BART tracks, the post office across the street, and the trucks running 24/7 impact our health. And also we have had, before the ruling change, trucks would run the engine or idle the engine up and down and park up and down that street. And they still do, but they don't no longer understand the law about not idling the engine. Next slide. We know that there's a history of West Oakland of not having service, of not having those things that support a community that can have the same things as in this area downtown. Other neighborhoods, as the Laurel neighborhood, we don't have the same kind of amenities that other people have. And why? Because they have deemed this area as totally industrial, and also the history of redlining. Next slide. My activism goes back before I came to West Oakland. I come from a family where people have always been involved in something. You guys earlier talked about polio. My mother was a leader around March of Dimes. So I know about having that as part of our life to give back to those who do not have. Learning how to be part of the process to be problem solving and solution development. So, yes, so if we was here, my engagement also is part of really getting more depth and understanding. After the 1989 freeway failed, we were notified that this community had bottom chloride, while simultaneously they were replacing the freeway. And because of that, we were able to identify a piece of land in West Oakland that caused respiratory and problems to those residents. So I just want you to understand, we're always on a multiple level of engagement to make things harmful to West Oakland. Next slide. So this is the same thing, you know, I have so many awards now for doing this work. I give them to my 16 grandchildren, my adult children. I have so many, I have received so much of this work. I give the awards away. So that's one of the things I have to do for as part of my legacy and my memorial. I give my awards away to my family, especially starting with my children and my grandchildren. Next slide. One of our methodologies about West Oakland environmental indicators and to apply environmental justice is that reuse, relationships, revive relationships, and making these things available in the conversation about making change for West Oakland. And all these connect back to how do you build relationships and trust internal to the community, outside the community, to agencies, to businesses, to institutions. You have to still go through those building blocks, those exercises to achieve such a thing. Next slide. These are some of our main program things we do. Is one of them is not about environmental or climate justice. It's also about what is the environmental justice that's included in climate change and climate justice. We do a lot of work around just understanding what are those impacts and what are those having those impacts inside West Oakland. Next slide. So here are our program areas. It's always about the air quality. We have done multiple levels on our own hotspots of outdoor air. We have our own equipment. We continuously influence any project that shows that there will be an impact to air quality in West Oakland. And we still, at the thing about climate change, is that we have a shoreline academy where we train residents how to be prepared to be part of the planning, design, and initiatives around shoreline development of the city of Oakland. Next slide. So here are some of the tools that we use. Like I said, research, education, outreach, and base building is a continuous thing. This is a continuous thing, just like a merry-go-round. It keeps going around, and how do you be more including and develop equity as you do this inclusion. Next slide. Here's our equipment. It's called a dust tracker. It goes into a backpack with a little GPS tube sticking out of it, and it identifies as you walk through a route with the blue or purple outline there, identifies as you walk where is the hot spot, where is the pollution coming from, and then be able to take that equipment, download it, and put it in a graph, and also the map to identify where there was a hot spot. But more recently, you will see in the next PowerPoint that we have now been able to use the Google Earth car with an instrument on the back of it can give pollution not only minute by second to identify what is happening on a block, an area, or a parcel of land. Next slide. So this is all, like I said, we are involved in any buildings, any kind of building that comes in the West, any kind of project that comes in the West, so I don't care. We always want to identify how they are not going to impact the community. Also, what are they doing, especially for housing, to not do harm, being able to look at indoor air quality as they build out any kind of housing. Next slide. This is part of our research that we've done around sea level rise. If people don't know, that West Oakland, where West Oakland is identified right now, used to be a shoreline where the Indians, and only Indians, used to do their fishing, crabbing, getting oysters. That was all that land that is what a waterway, all the blue water, shading of blue, is all infill development. So a lot of the land of West Oakland is a infill development. It's not just a natural structure. As history does not tell us about the shoreline. Next slide. So our model, we can work with anybody in collaboration from the government, US EPA, Bay Air Quality, the Water Board, the City of Oakland. We have worked with all of them on their multiple projects. And we also even had an engagement with the 80s around community benefits. But we work, and we also want to make sure that the residents have more than just a voice at the table. They are spending time designing, planning, and implementing their things that want to bring change into the West Oakland community. Next slide. So yes, my work has always been about how do I have a healthier, happier West Oakland. That's the end of this portion of the slides. Before we go to the next one, is there any questions? I know all y'all got something to say. I mean, you know, y'all, some of y'all got to this age. I know y'all wondering about how this little old black lady from West Oakland done what she's done, and then come to speak to y'all.
President Dudley, I have a question.
You over there, stand up and tell me your name. And
I think there's a question online.
okay, I will get to that one, but I saw him first, and the people who doing, you have to help me with the people who are online asking a question.
I will. Hi, Ms. Margaret. Thank you for your talk. I actually was thinking the development, the BART development in West Oakland. So when you're talking about the changes that are going to happen, do you have any comments on, you know, what that transit village, you know, what they're planning on doing, and how that comports to what, you know, ideally you want to happen? I thought maybe you could speak on that. Also, another thing is, while you're at the port, because we have a lot of port politicos here, and you know, you have sort of certainly local fame, but on a national level, is there something that, you know, now that we have a vice president from Oakland, that you might be able to get some help with some of the future things that are going to happen?
Okay, so you got a two-part question. I'm trying to break this up in small bites so everybody can digest it. One, yes, I am doing some engagement on the federal level about West Oakland and freight. Basically I have one initiative right now as through the US EPA process of how they are not regulating trains, ships, trucks, cargo handling equipment, and hovercraft. So I'm right now at the beginning of that. The second part of that question is that the new Transit Village project is still in a planning phase. We have not had the outreach to say, hey, we need support for this, we need support for that, we need y'all to be engaged here. That is still in a planning phase. But they have in the beginning of this process, had a community engagement. Where is it right now? I do not know. But I do know I do have the ability to contact the developer and the staff anytime wants to ask the question. Okay. Does that help you out? Okay. Now who's the person online?
I heard a question online, was that?
Yeah, President Dudley?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a bunch of questions online. This is Ed Jellen. I've been drafted by Sandeepa to handle this. First of all, Will Hobbs asks, is the planned independent truckers terminal on Burma Road a positive solution for reducing the impact of pollution on other West Oakland residents? And is that independent truckers terminal welcomed by the West Oakland community?
Are you talking about truck parking on Burma Road? Or are you talking about updating trucks that do not impact?
I think it was the area that is there a trucking area on Burma Road that's being.
Yes. Yes and no. I'm saying why I'm saying yes or no, because I have not heard that specific area which you talk about is a designated area for parking trucks. Also, we know that from two types of stakeholder processes at the port, that they're looking at truck parking and bringing in electric trucks and electric charging stations. And the last part, there is a truck management program. So, how to answer your question? I can't answer that question, but I can tell you what I know as part of next steps or things that's in the hopper to support getting trucks out, trucks not parking in West Oakland. That's been the number one thing. Stop having trucks park in West Oakland.
Can I just ask, you have some more slides. Did you want to do those and then take a couple more questions?
Yeah.
Why don't we do that, and that way we can time how much time we have left.
Okay, these next slides is a program that we developed as staff and residents of West Oakland called Owning Our Own Air. In 2016 and 17, the state of California utilized cap and trade money to put in and to develop legislation called AB 617. Next slide. So, I know there's a lot of text to read, but I'm trying to shorten this one. AB 617 became legislation that communities like West Oakland, throughout the state of California, under California Air Resources Board, and the local air district would partner to develop an air plan through using air monitoring and or an action plan around emission reductions. West Oakland was the first community in Northern California who went directly to an action plan. So this is what Owning Our Air is about. How do we utilize all those resources of California Air Resources Board, the Air Quality, and other agencies around emission reduction planning. That's also including the Port of Oakland, sitting at this table, and the truck businesses. Next slide. This is just more general information about AB 617 and how it's supposed to be more including as a community-driven process for West Oakland. Next slide. These are some of the actions, proposed actions and proposals that we are what we are having great intent to do with. Next slide. So we also looked at all these criteria as part of the process of looking at these action plans that we want to put forward, and looking at the root causes of these things also. Next slide. This is a map around what is the cancer rate per part of West Oakland. And that data also supports what is about public health, what's happening in West Oakland with our partner, California Air Resources Board and Gated Air Quality. And also another NGO, Environmental Defense Fund, supported us in getting this information. Next slide. This is the map that I was talking about that was instrumental in getting real-time data around where impacts block by block, parcel by parcel in West Oakland. Next slide. This is just some more information around planning, looking at root causes, and how do we make implementation to look at these things directly. Next slide. Okay, so this is also looking at how do we identify the land, use of land, and where those are most vulnerable, and also how do we use green infrastructure to influence the. Next slide. This is the whole, this is the whole book about the summary of AB 617. Can you get to the last slide? Okay. So if you see this picture right here, it's all about reducing health impacts for residents, especially our children in West Oakland. And next slide. This is also about how do we make impacts to make these changes by multiple levels of process. And what are those root causes? I'm gonna end it right there because this is the whole summary thing, and I hope that you will be able to pass it out to everybody for review.
I was going to say, is there a link to a website that you have?
Yes.
Lana? So we'll put that link in our weekly newsletter. So if people want to look at it or download it, they can look at it and read it more thoroughly.
All right, thank you.
So questions? Mary, who are you? President-elect Mary Gian.
Hi, thank you for a very informative information. I just remember Governor Newsom mentioned recently, last year or this year, about the new energy, so that in 2040 or something like that, all new trucks going down 7th Street would be electric. So, so let's hope you see that will help the neighborhoods tremendously, and I think for individual, around 2035, all new cars would be electric. So that, hopefully, you and I will live through this next lifetime, 20 years, to see that happen.
I don't know if I'm gonna be here to see all that. I am participating about how to get more electric trucks, electric cars, to reduce the NOx that is coming out from using fossil fuels as moving freight and people's personal cars and having personal cars in West Oakland. Yes, but I don't know if I'm gonna be here to see all of it that's finalized, but I am engaged, involved, and participating and part of the planning and designing what that would look like.
Steve, we need 2 more questions. Steve, I'll give you one, and Ed, could you give me another one after?
Well, I was going to give 2, but.
Hey, Steve.
Hi. What is it you would like to see Rotary contribute to this effort? Lifelong effort, I should say. But right now, we're kind of concentrated on this deal with the A's. The minute that deal is inked, it seems to me that we're going to have to proceed with what they call the enhanced infrastructure financing district to surround it, which will in turn have to key a environmental reaction that will affect the entire Bay Area. So how do we conclude that deal as soon as possible in order to make sure that those environmental cures and mitigations will begin to happen sooner than later?
Okay, I'm gonna give my perspective about the whole AIDS thing. The whole AIDS thing. I'm all about the community benefits. Really plain and simple. What are the benefits that this ballpark will make relief, reduce, relationships, revive West Oakland. Now, what is that? We have gone through an extensive engagement process with the aides and with the city to look at that. But at the end of the day, the city will determine and aides will determine if there's going to be a ballpark. Now, what Steve is talking about is one of the tools in the toolkit to support those things that those who participated wants to see happen in West Oakland as either projects or programs from that funding. That's set upon. But we also know the way the legislation was wrote, we might have to go back and renegotiate, have a discussion, because that funding does not cover everything that the community asked about or want. So for clarification, is that I'm in hopes that the Rotary Club will start paying attention to communities like West Oakland for the future, not only for the future of their grandchildren. Will your grandchildren be able to stay in Oakland? I know as of right now, I have, of my 3 sons, only one able to stay in West Oakland. Okay, so this is all about, at the end of the day, how much does the Rotary Club wants to have this information for inspiring these changes, not about just West Oakland, but all of Oakland.
Thank you. Ed, do you have another question there?
Yes, I do. This is from Merlin Edwards, who first says he's glad to see you and would like to know, what is the city doing about the homelessness in West Oakland, along with the dumping and other environmental issues facing West Oakland?
First, I ain't got all day long to come and talk about the city of Oakland. We be here all night, all next week, all next month, all next year, trying to explain about the city of Oakland and how they are the different departments, staffing, city council members think about what should be happening to anything that has to do on the flatlands. And I know everybody here don't have the time to sit up here and have this long term, because it is a long, ain't nothing short, but let's step back. It's nothing short term about dealing with the city of Oakland. That's been my experience. It's nothing short term without complications. That's my experience. And unfortunately, this other people's experience also. It's nothing about short-term solutions, problem solving, anything dealing with the city of Oakland. And so, I am involved in multiple departments in the city of Oakland on multiple things. But like I said, it's all about, one thing is all about my capacity as my organization, my time being sitting there having the dialogue, the discussion, supporting policy change. Who has what grant from each department that may have something to do with West Oakland. It's never a single thing. It's always a multiple pronged thing of putting the city of Oakland into one room and staff and departments trying to have a collective, coordinated, and collaborated vision to solving some of these many things. And it's like I just said, and it's not, in my experience, there's nothing short-term about doing that.
Sorry, I assume you'll stay a few minutes afterwards?
Yes.
People want to come up. Margaret, thank you so much for coming today. Let me help. Ms. Gordon, this year we're highlighting the new Rotary area of focus, which is the environment. In your honor, we are making a donation to the Environmental Sustainability Rotary Action Group, SRAG, towards their focus on biodiversity, sustainable living, pollution, the climate, food systems, and a circular economy. Thank you so much for being a part of our Civic Thursday meeting. We appreciate it. Jason Weiselman, are you out there somewhere? If not, you get me again. So for next week, there will be, throughout the rest of October, November, and into December, we have a coat drive. There should be a container, it's not there today, but you can leave if you have lightly used worn coats, new or lightly used, gloves or scarves. These goods go to the local organization, WELO, We Lead Ours, who distributes in the housing insecure community in Oakland. We have bags. Okay. The rain is not friendly for outdoor gatherings. The High Adventure Committee has canceled the walk at Briones Park, Regional Park this Sunday. Although a week from Saturday, Steve, there is a bike ride coming up. Anyway, and also due to some unforeseen circumstances, St. Vincent de Paul had to cancel our service day this Saturday, but we will reschedule with them. So next week, and actually every week until Thanksgiving, we are meeting here in the ballroom. We'll be hybrid online. Did we have any bell ringers today out there? Ed, or was everyone online?
President Dudley, I didn't see any in the chat room, but invite anybody who wants to do so to ring in.
Jack McAvoy said I should, instead of just talking on, I should have stopped and asked if there's any bell ringers in the room today. We'll do that next week. Oh, Steve, please. Steve Lowe rings the bell for Margaret. Thank you, Steve. And a bell ringer is a generous $100 donation to the Oakland Rotary Endowment. Thank you, Steve. So thank you, Sarah Chavez-Yoell, for your moment at the beginning of the meeting. President Ed Jellen, thank you for hosting online. Ruth Straub and all of the Paul Harris recipients, thank you very much. Robert Kidd, thank you for introducing. And hold on, next week. Bruce, where are you? There we are, Bruce. Quick microphone. We have 1 minute left in the meeting, so don't leave yet. And it's yours, Bruce.
Thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Rotary members and guests. I should tell you something about our speaker next week. About 13 years ago, when some other Oaklanders and I formed a local political advocacy group, Make Oakland Better Now, we were very active on city budget members and had the privilege of meeting and working with Sabrina Landreth, then the Oakland Excellent Budget Director. After that, she was the city manager of Emeryville, and after that, Oakland's city administrator. And now the exciting 2021 news, in March, she was appointed the new general manager of the East Bay Regional Parks District, the first woman to lead the organization in its 87 years. Sabrina will be our speaker in person here next Thursday. She plans to provide insights into the challenges and opportunities that currently face the Park District, the largest district in the country. And in addition, she will discuss how her experience has prepared her to be able to tackle these issues in her new role as the general manager. It ought to be wonderful.
Thank you, Bruce.
So Margaret, thanks again for joining us today. We really appreciate your presentation. Bruce, thank you. All of the greeters today, all the mic runners, people working with club service. I want to thank everyone today for joining us. Remember that we are Rotary, serve to help others, and don't keep Rotary a secret. This meeting is adjourned.